So I'm not the expert on pro wrestling, but a expert. During the last golden age of wrestling, I was working for the Campbellton Tribune and part-time for the Moncton Times at the time that the Monday Night Wars started. The NWO, ECW was between 94 and 99, 2000. TNN on Friday nights, must-see TV. Nitro and Raw on Monday nights, must-see TV. So for years, we're trying to figure out, will must-see wrestling ever come back? Now, AEW, obviously the big competitor against WWE right now, is picking up momentum. It's got a place on TSN, not shown live every week, but shown on tape delay on his on-demand service. Now, what's been happening in recent weeks is a certain force that is back in AEW called CM Punk. Bryan Danielson is there as well, but they're not really talking too much about these people as the future of AEW because they're in there just like WCW, Nitro with Hulk Hogan and Macho Man. But there's a wrestler, a very, very young wrestler, that's taking a lot of chances and a lot of what you call old tropes and making them new. And if you're going to take a combination of Jake the Snake Roberts, Ravishing Rick Rude, Chris Jericho, a little bit of Bret Hart, a little bit of CM Punk, and he's Jewish besides. How many Jewish pro wrestlers do you know have been a great success in wrestling of the modern era? So today we're going to be talking about a guy that's turning into one of the better heels of the last decade in pro wrestling. Whether you like him or not, you can't ignore him. And his recent battles on the mic with CM Punk have become legendary, and it only came out 2 weeks ago, especially the comment that CM Punk or PJ Punk, as this guy calls him, about being a lesser-known Miz. I don't know, ladies and gentlemen. There could be much in this guy's future. Of course, we're talking about the man who self-proclaimed MJF, or Maxwell Jacob Friedman. Now, he was born Maxwell Tyler Friedman. And he's currently signed to AEW and is a leader of something called the Pinnacle. He previously worked in Major League Wrestling, where he was a former World Tag Team Champion, while also being a former one-time and inaugural MLW World Middleweight Champion. He departed MLW in January 2020. He's also worked on the American Independent Circuit, appearing mostly for Combat Zone Wrestling, where he's a former one-time CZW World Title holder and a two-time CZW World Champion. Now, not the biggest drink of water, 5'11", 226, but get this, ladies and gentlemen. Born in, the strong community of Plainville, New York, and trained by all people, Kurt Hawkins and the great Pat the Buck. Now, Maxwell Friedman was born to a Jewish family, again, in the New York suburb of Plainview, in the pride of Long Island, on March 15th, 96. He graduated in 2014 from Plainview Old Benedictine John F. Kennedy High School, where he's a member of the football team. During his senior year, he was named Honorable Mention All-County for football, and then previously attended Hartwick College in Oneonta, New York. Actually, my grandmother-in-law's hometown. Now, in 2001, Friedman, who was only about 5 at the time, appeared on an episode of the Rosie O'Donnell Show, singing "You Are My Sunshine" after his parents submitted a tape of him singing it while eating a pear. After a video's performance resurfaced in 2019, Friedman, while he's an MJF character, initially denied the appearance before admitting it, stating that Rosie O'Donnell was trying to cling onto her fading star, and he didn't have the nerve to tell Britney Spears, who appeared on the same episode, that she wasn't going to make it as a singer. Now, again, he was trained initially by Brian Myers and Pat Buck, and made his in-ring debut in their Creative Pro Wrestling Academy in Hicksville. What a name, ladies and gentlemen. Hicksville, New York, during February 2015. He also wrestled for CZW and Five Borough Wrestling during his debut year, and went on to appear in numerous promotions across the Northeastern Independent Wrestling Circuit. Now, in April 2015, the WWE uploaded on their YouTube channel Friedman's entry for WWE Tough Enough. Now, his initial name was called Pete Lighting in several CZW Dojo War events since 2015, usually in tag team action. Now, on the September 7, 2016 edition of CZW Dojo Wars, he returned to his previous ring name, Maxwell Jacob Feinstein. He entered the Dramatic Destination Series tournament. On March 13, 2007, at CZW Sacrifices, he defeated Johnny Yuma to win the CZW Wire title. He won his first defense later on, and successfully retained the title in various defenses, including against Ace Romero. Now, in October, he lost the title to, of all people, Joey Janela. 2 months later, he won the title back after defeating Janela in a rematch. Now, great success there for a little while. Then he moved on to Major League Wrestling, where he won the World Middleweight Championship, and beating of all people, Joey Ryan. Great match from what I heard. Now, he created something to call the Dynasty, and he challenged Hart family member Teddy Hart for the World Middleweight Championship. After a match, Richard Holiday joined MJF in attacking Hart. As a result, the duo formed a team called the Dynasty and began feuding with the Hart Foundation. They were shortly after joined by newcomer Alexander Hammerstone, and he later won the MLW World title with Holiday as part of the Dynasty. Now, when he left the promotion January 20. Now, on January 7, 2019, it was announced that Friedman was signed to All Elite Wrestling for, at the time, was kind of a shock, a 5-year deal. He debuted as a heel at Double or Nothing as part of the pre-show Casino Battle Royal for an AEW World Championship opportunity. Now, he's had great success in AEW. He's won more than he's lost, but the key part of joining, of course, the Inner Circle. Now, the idea about MJF, he's been brought along slowly, mostly as a heel. They put him against Jericho in a feud, different kind of tension for different athletes. But when he was kicked out of the Inner Circle, and he was trying to make a coup against Jericho, he eventually formed something called the Pinnacle with Wardlow, the Canadian Shawn Spears, Tully Blanchard, FDR, which of course the former WWE stars Cash Wheeler and Dax Hardwood. Now, a stable who eventually come to be known as the Pinnacle, and eventually knocked off the Inner Circle in the inaugural Blood and Guts match. Now, he also had a brief feud with Brian Pillman Jr., making fun of Cincinnati and his mother Bethany, and talking to Brian Pillman Sr., yelling at the ground. At AEW Grand Slam, MJF defeated Pillman. Now, on the September 29 episode of Dynamite, and this is the key part of his career, ladies and gentlemen, he declared himself the top pillar of the 4 homegrown talents, with the other 3 being Sammy Guevara, Jungle Boy, and Darby Allin, prompting Darby to confront MJF. MJF made allusions to Darby being straight-edged due to his alcoholic uncle who got in a car crash and died while Darby was just a child, and in the car, with Darby claiming that MJF can't break him mentally and refusing to attack. He would fight Allin at Full Gear and eventually defeated him. So, when CM Punk showed up, they're building it up right now, ladies and gentlemen, as the new version of CM Punk, but a little bit of ECW and a little bit of the Chris Jericho in him. But this guy, like I said, I see so much in this guy, so much potential, and a lot of this is ad-libbed, and he doesn't use like profanity per se, but wherever he is, he's willing to take risk, not only to kayfabe it, but to get over very quickly. And I think he's taking what was there before and making AEW a combination, and this is just me here, of WCW and ECW kind of fan reaction. Now, Friedman's character has been described by the New York Times, and that's been talked about in recent days. He got coverage with the New York Times as part heel, part tool, hair gel, loafers, Burberry bling, tacky, and part good fellow wannabe. You're missing the point entirely. He wants to be ECW, in my deep thought, because he's probably watched all the tapes when ECW was strong. Now, many people have praised MJF for his aggressive heel character, largely due to his ability to blur the line of kayfabe, often insulting fans and other non-professional wrestling celebrities on social media in character. A very good professional wrestler pointed that MJF is the best heel out there since he can walk on the edge, being heel without people calling him racist or homophobic. He's not racist or homophobic. He's basically MJF. And if you consider an asshole or not. But what I want you to do, if anybody is listening to this, you have the bell dish, go deep down to TSN On Demand and watch the last 2 episodes, I think November 23rd, the last 2 Wednesdays of AEW, and see how CM Punk is basically, not say scared of him, but like saying, where is this person going to take it? Because CM Punk had to come up with his best stuff to win the last verbal battle. But he's calling him PG Punk, which technically he is right now. So that's where the kayfabe and mix of heel comes in. Now, he has also been praised for his experience and character skills despite his young age, again, mid-20s, by people like Jim Ross and Chris Jericho. Now, as part of his character, Friedman hates children, being rude with them during autograph sessions and meetings. Now, 2021 didn't fully belong to him, it belonged to AEW. But 2022, ladies and gentlemen, if this is played out right, we have CM Punk in there, we have Bryan Danielson, okay? We have Chris Jericho, we have Kenny Omega's on injured, and we have MJF. Now, who will be world champion? Will Bryan Danielson be champion? CM Punk? You have literally 5 major people to be world champion. But if you put the belt on MJF, if it's played right, AEW could literally mess up WWE forever. Because WCW came close, ladies and gentlemen. But if you watch AEW in recent weeks, it smells like a little bit of WCW circa Goldberg before they mess it up, like the NWO. They had a lot of opportunity to take out WWE. If it's done right, if MJF can lead AEW to the next level, he's still young, he's still learning. And I know one thing, ladies and gentlemen, if he becomes the Rookie of the Year world champion, CBS Sports gave him a Rookie of the Year in 2019. Let's put this in perspective. Let's look at the championships and accomplishments. AEW Wrestling, All Elite, again, the Dynamite Diamond Ring winner twice. He's won belts in recognition of Alpha One Wrestling, Combat Zone Wrestling, Dramatic Dream Team, Inspire Pro Wrestling, Limitless Wrestling, Major League Wrestling, Maryland Championship Wrestling, very underrated. He was Pro Wrestling Illustrated's number 22 ranked wrestler last year, the top 500. Rockstar Pro Wrestling, Wrestling Observer Newsletter Most Charismatic, Excite Wrestling, and again, for best performance for his rendition of Me and My Shadow with Chris Jericho, awarded by the New York Times. Now again, not too many Jewish professional wrestlers have hit his level of quick success. And I want to put this in perspective, ladies and gentlemen. From the wrestling stuff, like Colt Cabana, obviously, Matt Sydal, Bill Goldberg, Drew Gulak, Kelly, the Malenkos. There's been major, Matt Striker, of course, Randy Savage. But I think if the East Coast attitude he takes, and you listen to him, it's like Rick Rude. It's like like ECW. It's all of this together. And I think this guy, the sky's the limit. There's no way in the world he can be ignored. So, ladies and gentlemen, within 5 months or 6 months, if AEW is smart, they're either going to come out with a new belt for this guy, or it could be literally the first pure heel, not the manufactured heel, like the current WWE crap. This guy could be literally the biggest heel champion in decades if it's played right. AEW might fall by the wayside, but just like WCW with Ted Turner, if Tony Khan has deep pockets but spends it the right way, you know what this guy needs? He needs a good heel trainer. You know, you look at Rocky, and Rocky, had a good trainer, Burgess Meredith, the character he played, the cliche character. You really should maybe Tully Blanchard, everybody else that's involved with the Four Horsemen, but you know what they need to do. You know what they need to do. I don't have to say it. Make Ric Flair's manager. There, money to burn. Can you imagine? Can you imagine what would happen if Ric Flair would show up as this guy's manager? Look how he benefited AJ Styles' career in the early years. So that's my goal for 2022, is to convince people to think outside the box. If you really want to bury WWE, there's a lot of people out there who want to bury them. Get Ric Flair to come over and be his manager. That's all I'm saying. But right now it's very exciting. And just like 94 to 2000, as a pro wrestling commentator and reporter, I am very excited. Keep reaching for the stars, ladies and gentlemen. And this is weird. It's Rosie O'Donnell's fault. If he wouldn't appear on the show, I don't think he would be doing. But go into the December 1st AEW Dynamite and see if you don't see what I'm talking about. Thanks for listening. Bye.